Welcome to Wizard World. And two of his co-stars from that series, Doug Barr and Heather Thomas. That's coming up at 1 o'clock Eastern on Saturday. And then Sunday at 1 o'clock, we have the stars of Blue Mountain State, several of those, that Paramount Network TV show. Chronicled sports, college sports. Might have seen that one when it was on. And next Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern, we're going to have the great Barry Williams, so from Brady Bunch. So a lot of great stuff coming up here at Wizard World Virtual Experiences, and you can go to wizardworldvirtual.com for all the information on the upcoming events and how you can purchase some one-on-one videos, some chats with the stars, and also the recorded videos and autographs. Lots of great stuff there, all at Wizard World Virtual. Also, 20 plus years of great stuff at Wizard World, doing our shows over that time span. Lots of the greatest stuff that we have has all been collected together at wizardworldvault.com. Go there. You know, specials every day and some great stuff, both from the art world and from the celebrities area. So he's a comic book artist, a writer, creator for his own imprint called Freestyle Comics. That's comics with a K. He hails from Cleveland, but now he lives across the state in Columbus. He's been known on the Comic-Con circuit for his vast amounts of enthusiasm. If you've been to one of our shows, you know what I'm talking about. It's also displayed in the classroom. He's an after-school art teacher. Please say hello to our guest and my friend, the great Mike Watson.
Hey, there we go.
He is.
Mike, how you doing, Jerry?
Welcome in. What's going on?
Doing good, man. Excited to be here. Thank you for that awesome intro. I got to live up to it.
How is Columbus these days?
Columbus is mellow. Everyone's in their homes, taking it day at a time.
I hear you, like the rest of it. Well, our last show that we did was across the state in Cleveland. You were there.
Yes, I was.
March.
It was a fantastic
March 9th
show.
Was our last show, and March 10th we're flying home. And there, you know, your governor's closing the state, and everybody followed. And you know, it's great to see you. It's been a while, but you know, with Wizard World Virtual Experiences, we're trying to do all the things that we do at our shows. So we've had some great celebrity things, and you know, we've done some things with authors, and we're doing things with artists. But this is our first artist drawing. So you are our first to do a live drawing for us during our segment. So we're really proud to have you on. And again, fans who have seen Mike at the shows, if you're waiting before the show opens, Mike's that guy psyching everybody up. He even comes by registration and psychs me up. So that's going to be a lot of fun tonight. Mike, what are you going to draw for us tonight?
Today, I'm actually going to draw my character, Hotshot, for us live today. He is the flagship title from Freestyle Comics, and I think I've picked a particularly exciting pose to play around here today with.
All right, well, I'm looking forward to that. I'm getting out of the way so that you can go ahead and get going, and then we'll talk at the very end. So you have a great one, Mike.
All right, thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to share my screen here. Got a lot of jazz going on here, and well, don't move that. I'm used to being in my StreamYard account. I'm all on here with the fancy Wizard World and all their tech, living it up. Hope everybody's doing good today. My name is Mike Watson. So in case some of you that are watching today don't know me, I am the publisher of Short Fuse Media Group. I'm the founder of Freestyle Comics, the most enthusiastic man in comics, and one half of the good, the bad, and the nerdy. So I'm here today, and this character that I'm rocking on my hat, his name is Hotshot. And what I'm going to be drawing today is an exclusive piece that we're doing for FSK Day that's happening this Saturday. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later on. Let me show you the sketch I got that I started beforehand. All right, there he is. I wanted to do something pretty thrilling and exciting. I'm a big fan of My Hero Academia. Absolutely love that anime and Naruto. And I wanted to do something in the same vein of them with some real nice perspective on the figure, highly animated with a lot of energy coming in. So I have this pose here that I'm going to work on. I'm going to do the pencils for you today and probably have to ink it later on tonight and send off to the colors. Is I wanted to make sure this pose was impactful. I like a lot of impact in my art. I wanted Hot Shot, who is on scene here, to look like he is fighting for his life. And you guys are probably like, I don't even know who Hot Shot is, man. Who is this guy? Well, I'm gonna tell you. Hot Shot is a young man in college who is trying to prove to his girlfriend that he did not cheat on her because he's a superhero and not get kicked out of college because he's a superhero and he's never there. But his girlfriend, he won't tell her that he's a superhero. That would make everything real easy if he would just say that he's a superhero. You would think. But he decides to keep that to himself because he's trying to protect her. I don't know if that's going to work out for him or whatnot. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see as it goes on. We're 10 issues in on Hot Shot. It is our flagship title at Freestyle Comics. And there have been more than one discussions about his choice not to tell his girlfriend who he really is. And we actually have a panel about that this Saturday at our event, FSK Day. So I'm looking forward to that one very much so, to hear the arguments for if Hotshot was right or wrong. Now, I think I was tempted to have his mouth open, have him screaming, but I think I want to potentially have it closed like he's gritting his teeth. I don't know yet. But I do know this because I'm drawing on this trendy iPad. I have some options here. So what I'm going to do is select his mouth. I'm going to cut it and paste it. I'm gonna put it on its own layer, and I'm gonna come back to that. I'm gonna see about how it looks if I have him yelling. This is why I love drawing on an iPad, because it gives me options. I don't necessarily have to get married to something until I'm sure about it. And actually, I think him yelling may be the way to go. Now, the cool thing about Hotshot is he's a geek, man. He's a geek like all of us. He loves going to Comic Cons. He loves playing video games. Loves reading comics. He's actually going to art school to be a comic book artist. And he's always wanted to be a superhero, always. So when the opportunity for it to happen pops up, he just jumps right at it. No hesitation, dives right in. Doesn't always give him the exact results that he wants, but he's a kind of fly by the seat of his pants type of character. Yeah, I don't know what you guys think. I think I like the yelling mouth better than the clenched mouth. Let's pull back on it. Yeah, the yelling one's better. It tells more of a story, like he's trying to fight here. I had to make sure I look up, see if any questions or comments pop up. I can get lost in this art sometimes. So I've been working on this book since, oh my goodness, since 1999. A little bit before that, before Hotshot even became Hotshot. But I took this with me to college, and my my brothers will say I was very nitpicky about who I let see it. They exaggerate a lot, but I thought I was a pretty open guy about this whole thing, about sharing the Hotshot story and stuff. But I met some really cool people at college, and we were able to put together a very satisfying story or opening story for Hot Shot. And we've done, like I said, 10 issues of that. And we've actually got this whole book planned up for 100 issues, plotted out and everything. So Hot Shot's going to be going through some serious growing pains and things like that. I absolutely love drawing hands. I think when I started going to comic book conventions is when I really started hearing artists say how much they hated drawing hands because hands were just hard to draw. I was like, what are you talking about? I love drawing hands, man. Hands are the business. They're super fun. So I think the more that I heard people say they did not enjoy drawing hands, I would push myself to draw even more complicated poses with hands and lay them out there. That's one thing I really wanted to be the focus in this piece is Hotshot blasting his power, which it's a great segue. What are his powers? Well, as far as he knows, he can fly, he can take a punch, and he can control fire from his hands. He's been able to come up with some pretty powerful blasts. He's got some strength on him. Ooh, that one's off a little bit. Yeah, he's got some strength on him. And he's trying to become the best superhero he can be. He did something. I don't want to give too many spoilers because I do actually want you guys to go check out the book where you can get it at online at our website at shortfusemediagroup.com. But he does something he's never done before in our first story arc. And it helps out a lot. And he's like, man, it'd be really great if I could do that on a regular basis. So he's got to figure out how to control some of his power they didn't even realize he had. Now this piece, I'm going to work on the pencils here live with you guys. And then probably ink it up tomorrow and send it to my colorist. And this will be an exclusive piece that you can get on Saturday that I will sign and mail off to you for ordering it from our event. Let's see here. Okay, I see some questions are popping up here. All right, Danny J. Quick, I hope you heard me. I said we're drawing Hot Shot. James, what's up, man? How you doing? I'm not crazy, Danny J. Quick. My figure drawing teacher just got me addicted to drawing hands. Hands they can tell the story all their own, depending on what kind of situation you put your hands in. How did I get started drawing? I got started drawing. I don't know if you guys remember a little cartoon called Voltron, but I remember sitting down trying to draw stuff, draw the Voltron lions. And and I was trying to draw them in these different action scenes. And I think one time I was trying to draw them with the water, and my grandfather showed me how to draw water, like the little wavies like this for water. And ever since then, I've been addicted to drawing and just drawing cartoons and stuff. Who are my artistic Vantage In houses in the building? The hardest working man in comics. Who are my artistic inspirations? What comic artists are on your Mount Rushmore? Oh, on my Mount Rushmore. Comic artist inspirations. I am terrible with names. Adam Kubert, Joe Mad, Joe Madureira. If I'm pronouncing his name wrong, I'm sorry, but Joe Mad, Adam Kubert, uh, Stuart Emonin. Terrible with names, guys. I'm sorry. And I put Bagley up there for me too, because it was in all his Spider-Man runs of the books. So I would say that's my Rushmore right now. It changes from time to time, but Adam Kubert uh, is a mainstay. Adam Kubert has always been on there. He's never moved. Ah, my brother's over here right now, and he just called me on it. I just disrespected Ryan Otley. How could I forget Ryan Otley? Well, I did not forget Ryan Otley. I went with what the beginning of my comic book art career. That one. Otley's part of the new age for me. That's when I redefined my style. Otley is a beast. You like how I pulled that out? Did not disrespect him. Nice little cover up. Nice recovery. All right. So, but there's tons of artists I love in comic books that have, driven me and inspired me to make comic books. It's been a good experience. For a while, I had to stop chasing after them and seeing where they were at and just appreciate them and find my own style, find my own way, because I'm not going to be those artists. I got to be my own artist. So it took me a little bit of time to figure that out. Trying to keep a better eye on the chat so I don't miss those questions. So I love drawing in the iPad. I think we can get rid of this layer for sure. We can keep this one and merge down, because I can just create all these different layers to keep a hold of the drawing. It's like drawing live on Photoshop. So I'm lowering the opacity down on this piece so I can start to pick and choose the line work that I want to keep. And this is where the penciling really begins. The little nuances of it. Now I'm trying to really get in here and tell a story with the line work. Always enjoyed drawing the human figure. Figure drawing was like my favorite class next to comic book class in college. I've always enjoyed doing that type of thing and drawing people. I like to get a lot of expression out of the drawings as much as I can. My comic book teacher used to tell me I had too much punch in my drawings. And there was a student there that I used to team up with on some artwork, and his style was more calm. So we'd say Joe had a lot of mojo. Joe had too much mojo, which he was too calm in his art, and I had too much punch. My art was too in your face, because I would always draw fist and hands all in the camera, kind of like I'm doing right now, but it's justified. Oh man. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where we take Hotshot. We've got a nice little story planned for him for the next 4 issues. We're going to take him on a nice little epic adventure. Andrew's in the building. What's up, Andrew? Well, Mike, that's what you excel at. You tell stories with your line work and pieces. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. I had to learn a lot from my school, Columbus College of Art and Design. And I'd say I learned just as much from college as I did the people that I ended up going to school with, that I met in school, through all the relationships I made. I learned a ton of stuff from them just as much as I did the college. What was really cool was I really thought I knew a lot about comic books when I came to college. I knew nothing. I was like Jon Snow. You know nothing, Mike Watson. And my eyes were opened up when I got here. Columbus is a real comic book town. Judy, have you tried a Surface Pro? If so, which is better, iPad or Surface Pro? I haven't tried the Surface Pro for a long period of time. Uh, it's funny it was at one of the Wizard World shows. One was set up, and I got to play around with it, and it was cool. But I don't think I can really judge it off of that short experience I had with it. But I can tell you right now, I'm definitely an advocate for the iPad. I take it wherever I go, and excuse me, and I pull it out and just start drawing wherever I am. I never thought that I would consider myself to being a digital artist like this, but yeah, absolutely. I have not really looked back. I've only done traditional art when uh, someone has requested it for a commission. But I absolutely love. I've used other like Android tablets, and for me, in my opinion, it just doesn't compare to the iPad and what the Apple Pencil can do. Um, there's a lot of leans. Like I haven't even really messed with any of the settings on this iPad. I'm really just messing around with the default stuff. So I haven't for me I have not had to change anything in here, and I can just work, and I'm able to just to jump in, ink, draw, whatever. I can only imagine if I dive deeper down that rabbit hole, um, how far it would go. But from my experience, I wanted to get used to drawing on an iPad. So, and I've been on here for, I guess, almost 2 years, and I still have a lot of room to grow and improve on. But if you're asking me if I recommend the iPad, I would definitely recommend the iPad. I've recommended it to a few people. And you don't need a pro. I will tell you that because I'm not working on a pro. I'm working on a regular iPad. Um, so if that helps save a bit of dollars for you. But don't get me wrong, I do eventually want to get a pro. That's messing around with this. I'm like, yeah, I love it. I enjoy it. When I get the funds together, we're getting a pro. And that's only because of memory and space. As far as right now, probably for this image, I can only use 10 layers, but active layers without having to merge layers to combine them or whatever. But like on a pro, I could probably have like 60 or 70 layers on this one image. So, but I don't need it right now. I'm fine with what I got. But one day soon, I shall upgrade, and it will be good. Now, if you notice on this piece, I'm starting to add some line weights to this joint because the closer Hotshot is to the camera, the thicker the line weights need to be as we build up this character. And the other good thing that is a subtle thing that you don't even really, I don't know, acknowledge is the fact that I can pull this back and look at it from a distance. Like when I'm drawing on paper, I have to kind of hold my paper back like this and try to look at the proportions or whatnot. But I can shrink this down and check out my proportions to see where I'm at, which is a very nice benefit. I might send this to my editor. Might be mad at me, but I might send this to my inky friend to ink this because she's a amazing inker. But I may get the itch tonight and ink it up. I got some new brushes on here that are pretty exciting. That's another cool thing about the iPad. Finding brushes and stuff is pretty easy, and installing them is pretty easy. My son is getting the cheese stick right now. Cheese sticks are all the rage when the child's been in the house all day. Go ahead and make a bit of adjustment to that. I think that finger needs to be tweaked a little bit more. I think it just needs to come out just a tad bit more instead of where I had it. The pen I'm using is just the Apple pen that with the iPad. And the brush that I've used for it specifically is the Procreate pencil brush. Um, it's the closest one to me that feels like an actual brush or actual pencil. Closest thing I can get to drawing like pencil and paper. I will use different brushes. I'm starting to get into that textured world of trying to use different brushes to get different effects and stuff like that. Like I'll use a different brush for clouds to try to get that feel of a cloud or whatnot. But right now, I'm just getting the pencils done on this Procreate pencil, basic settings, and I can adjust the size of it and stuff here. I actually need to go bigger. And now here's a thing I'm finding as I'm drawing this here. That arm and hand is a little bit off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my selection tool. I'll go ahead and come in here and select around the hand. I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to paste it. And I'm going to move it a little bit more where it needs to be at. And that is Quick Fix. Let's merge that down. Yeah, there we go. Yep, there it is. Quick Fix, and now that hand is lined up with the arm better. Like something like that, if I'd have saw that, drawing it with pencil, I'd have been upset because I would have had to try to clean that up by hand manually on the paper with erasing and trying to draw over it and stuff like that. It'd have been a serious little job because us artists, when we draw something and we really like how it looks, and then we end up putting it in the wrong way or the wrong angle, that could be a tad bit annoying of trying to figure out how to salvage it and keep that art that I just spent so much time on. But in 2020 with an iPad, you can save everything. All right. Get in there. So I think I might play around with the thumb a little bit. And that'll happen from time to time. You'll start working on something and you're like, oh, okay, that's a really good layout. That's a strong layout. That's perfectly fine or whatever. But then when you start going back in there and adding pencils to it, you'll start seeing it differently, especially when you can pull back and out from here. I'm like, that's cool with this thumb being the way it is on that other hand. But I kind of don't want it similar to this one. So I'm going to try to do a little something different when I come to that, when I get over to that hand. And if you can tell, I really want to have this like a turning action, like this is a fun little story to tell or something like Hotshot was in a room, he was walking and he heard something from above. I kind of like to play on the fact that I don't like watching scary movies, and Hotshot is based off of me. So it's like maybe he's in a scary house right now and he's hearing all these weird, classic horror movie sounds like the house is creaking and stuff. And he hears something above him and he just turns around and lets whatever it was have it, a full fire blast. All right. Oh yeah. And I'm also kind of weird because I like the obtuse things on my pictures. Like right now, I'm a big fan of these legs. It's the way that they're drawn right now because it's a different camera angle. It's not how you normally see some legs in action here. I think, yeah, we'll bring that in a little bit more. Yeah, and we're almost there. A little, no, that don't look right. Got to figure out what direction he's turning from to make that swoosh work. Now, I'm gonna put this hand on a different layer because I kind of want to, like I said, I wanted to do something different with the thumb. And the thing I always tell my kids when I'm in my art class drawing, like, man, you could draw anything. It's just building it up with shapes and scribbles. That's literally it. It's just a bunch of shapes and scribbles. And then you come back around and you pick the lines that you want to keep. Takes a little bit of practice, but eventually you can get what you want. Yeah, I like that thumb a bit better. Because I did that on its own layer, come back up here to it. And I'm drawing again. The hands is the closest thing to the camera, so I'm adding the thickest lines to the hands and making them taper backwards from the hands through the arms. And you notice the line gets smaller the further back that we go. Thought this hand should be a little bit more, or this thumb should be a little bit more pushing forward, like just trying to throw the energy forward that's coming out of his hands. I did draw this one with the one finger off the panel. Once I get done drawing it, that's an easy fix because I want the whole thing on here. There we go. So I do like the sketchy look. I love building everything up with this sketchy form. But let me get rid of everything. That's how that looks. And go ahead and start adding these costume details for the hot shot. There we go. There we go. Now I'm having him turn away that way. So I think we put those little marks there to add that there. And then just throw in a few different speed lines. To give the idea of the power. Now, always got to remember what layer you're working on because that can be a hassle if you don't. All right, that's the layer I want. Now, adding a little bit of panache. Some streaks will give you those details of also signaling what direction this hand was coming from, which adds some fun to the piece. There we go. And then I add The classic 99. And I always get the question, what does the 99 stand for? Well, 99 is the year I graduated from high school and went off to college. And it's the foundation year that, Hot Shot came about. Like that's when I really was like making my own comics and stuff. So it's very much so attached to that. I've always had that 99 on him since I had him designed in high school, or a version of him designed, because the costume has been through its fair share of redesigns. Now, if you guys are digging anything that I've said about Hotshot or the story or whatnot, or even checking out this artwork, you're like, oh man, that looks like a cool character. You can get him delivered to you through shortfusemediagroup.com is where you can get that book, or rather any of the 10 issues of Hotshot, because it's a nice little read. We've been at this adventure for a few years with more to come. Yeah. So there's a piece right there, and I'm going to hit it with a little replay so you guys can see it all happen in action. And the cool thing about this is like you got to know when to use this in comic books, in the right panels on the right page, when to really go all out for this kind of perspective. You can't do it all the time or it gets old and people just kind of get like tired of seeing it. You got to have calm moments, so when a moment like this happens, you're all like, oh, you're into it. But this is a print that we're going to use, so the gloves are off on prints. It's all action, all wicked crazy camera angles in your face at every single moment when you're doing a print. So that is Hotshot, everybody. He is a Columbus, Ohio native, going to school, trying to prove to his girlfriend he's not cheating on her without revealing he's a superhero, and not get kicked out of college because he's never there because he's a superhero. Taking it one day at a time, and he's got a lot more adventures ahead of him. Let's see here. If I can grab. Jerry? I am. There we go.
I'm grabbed. You got me.
There we go.
That's awesome, man. I mean, that's taken us through, the whole thing. And then now, how are you able to, at the end there, remove your guidelines that you had in there that you were working from?
Each one of the lines are, everything is on its own layer. That's the really cool thing about drawing digitally, that there's the initial layout for the sketch. There goes the more refined version of the sketch, the final pencils, the speed streak effects, each of them on their own layer.
All right. So we were like 40 minutes or so. How long did it take you to do the sketch work beforehand?
The sketch work beforehand was like 10 minutes.
All right. So in an hour, you've got something that, folks could be proud and put up on their wall. Now, you said you could also send that to your colorist, or you could work on that yourself. How much of that, what percentage of stuff do you finish yourself, and what do you send to someone to color?
Well, because my editor-in-chief likes to crack the whip, I am now inking this stuff. But when the time avails for it, I'll send it out to an inker to actually ink it and put in all the blacks and stuff. But Veronica Smith, who is our executive editor and our lead colorist, she'll be throwing down colors on this one.
Nice. And what do you think of my work?
Oh, did you do that while we were drawing?
I had done it before, but I did it with like Microsoft Paint or whatever.
I think this is great. There's a lot of perspective in here. You got 3-dimensional forms. You're looking at foreground, middle ground, and background action here. There's trees. There's texture in that street right there in the driveway. Jerry, and you got your signature there. This is a winner.
Yes, wanted to make sure that you saw that. So, Mike, tell us more about what's going on this weekend.
Okay, well, this weekend is FSK Day, our third annual version of it. It is our think of it as a one-day Kickstarter. It's a fundraiser where we will be virtually all day with panels and events, and we are just asking people to give us a $1 donation live. We will have tons of panels talking about the craft of making comic books, what FSK has in the pot cooking, what we've done before. We have about 44 guests from the indie creative community, and they are all stars participating in the event. And we will have exclusives such as this one. Once it gets colored, it'll be a print available. We'll do an art auction. We'll have some games virtually. We're going to be introducing our Indie Destroy panel that I know a few people are looking forward to, but it's basically a reason for us at FSK to get together and talk about the stuff that we're working on all day.
That's awesome. What's the best place for people to go for that? Is it Facebook Live, or where's the best place to?
Best place is YouTube. You can look it up as Most Epic on my YouTube page. We will be streaming from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Over 44 guests there. And again, you are more than welcome to donate more. If you want to buy comic books or you want to buy any of the shirts that we'll be selling that day, you can. But all we're asking for is that each person that tunes in and watches is $1 donation. That's it.
All right, Mike, that's great. Just want to remind everyone that coming up tomorrow, Bruce Campbell versus Ted Ramey at 7 o'clock, followed at 9 o'clock by Whiz Quiz. Those are Eastern times with Mike G Does Things. Fall Guy, Lee Majors, Doug Barr, and Heather Thomas will all be here on Saturday at 1 o'clock. Sunday at 1 o'clock, it's Blue Mountain State. And next Saturday, 4 o'clock, it is Barry Williams. I want to thank everyone for being with us today. Thank you, Mike Watson, for taking us through everything, and hope everyone has a great time. And welcome again to folks who joined us on all three of our platforms. And we'll see you again soon on Wizard World Virtual Experiences. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.